Hi, everybody, and welcome to What's New in Microsoft Endpoint Manager. My name is Steve Dispenza, and I'm the Director of Program Management for Microsoft Endpoint Manager.
And I am Ramya Chitrakar. I'm the Director of Engineering for Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Now, I'm Steve's partner in crime. So while he does the hard work of figuring out what we should invest in as a product, I'm doing the more boring job of coding it all up.
This is part one of a two-part series, and so after we're done here, I encourage you to go check out part two. But for this session, we're going to start with an overview of Microsoft Endpoint Manager and a quick recap of how MEM lets you manage your entire endpoint estate, whether cloud native or on-prem. We'll talk about some of the challenges our customers faced in responding to the pandemic and how endpoint management helped customers accomplish the most amazing digital transformation the world has ever seen. The pandemic also presented some interesting opportunities for new MEM technologies, and so we're going to demonstrate some of those and talk about some of those here at Ignite. Rami will take us through a ton of new and excellent demos, and then we'll close with some takeaways and next steps. So a year ago, many of us started our day in the usual way, grab a cup of coffee, jump in the car, and go to work where we worked our workday. But of course, in the meantime, a whole lot has changed. Today, where and how we do our work is now completely different. Many of us are working from home or helping our kids learn from home. And there are those on the front line who are working under incredibly stressful situations, dealing with new security and safety requirements. Some of us are contemplating what a safe return to work in an office really would look like. And meanwhile, we're working across more devices and more spaces, and often without the traditional safety net of the physical help desk or the on-site IT manager. So a lot has changed, but one thing has become clear. From now on, every organization will have to have a remote work plan that lets employees work at 100% productivity. And I'm not talking about just a baseline business continuity plan either. Businesses need users to be able to be fully effective working remotely and have to be able to switch between remote work and office work without missing a beat. Last year at Ignite, we introduced Microsoft Endpoint Manager, our integrated management solution for all the endpoints in your estate. MEM brings together Intune, which is the intelligent cloud for all of your cloud native endpoints, Config Manager, the intelligent edge for your on-prem endpoint management, and other endpoint management tools to bring the power of the cloud to your whole enterprise. MEM supports cloud attachment, which cloud enlightens your Config Manager estate and lets you tap into great capabilities like analytics, autopilot, and proactive remediation, with much more to come. Massive customer adoption of this in the last year, as we've seen exponential growth in cloud attachment. MEM brings together the most comprehensive set of endpoint management capabilities in the industry. So starting with security, because security is such a key driver of management, MEM's intelligent security management integrates with the most sophisticated solutions in the market and lets you establish baselines and implement policy for your users and your devices. Risk-based controls like conditional access let you ensure your endpoints are secure and compliant before gaining access to sensitive corporate resources. Unified management brings together all of the management tasks in the enterprise into a single console, including deep integration with Microsoft 365 and the new Edge. Zero-touch provisioning works across platforms to deliver unparalleled efficiency for IT pros. MEM delivers the most advanced analytics in the market, including some solutions like desktop analytics, endpoint analytics, and productivity score. And finally, MEM is deeply integrated into Microsoft 365, including our role-based access control, the Graph API, PowerShell, and much more. Okay, now let me show you how the whole system fits together. Microsoft Endpoint Manager's goal is unifying all your management assets and bringing the power of the cloud to your whole enterprise. We launched Tenant Attach as a way to provide an easy and low-risk path to Cloud Attach Configuration Manager to start getting cloud benefits. Simply connect your Config Manager site to the cloud, and a host of remote actions and analytics become instantly available to you. Organizations can also use co-management to manage Windows 10 using both Config Manager and Intune at the same time. This capability is unique in the industry and has seen a tremendous explosion in usage recently. It's growing exponentially. And finally, new customers can go directly to the cloud with Intune, and existing customers can gradually move more and more workloads to the cloud as well. So as I said, we've seen incredible growth in cloud management. In Windows 10 in particular, we've seen some incredible numbers, growing from 5 to 15% on an increasing base of endpoints. We have a big vision for getting every Windows 10 PC attached to the cloud, though. So check out our target for next year. And by 2022, we're forecasting 50% of Windows 10 devices will be cloud attached. So shifting gears a little bit, the pandemic has driven some permanent changes in the way the modern workplace worked. Companies started out by simply responding to the crisis, working to get remote users unblocked. And we saw a bunch of our customers tuning up their VPNs and their config-man deployments, deploying CMGs, and so on. And nobody had it easy through this crisis, but customers that had modern management definitely had a smoother remote work transition overall. Now, at this point, most of our customers have made it through the first phases and are now focusing on rebuilding for the future. So with that in mind, I want to talk to you about just a couple of the many new capabilities in Microsoft Endpoint Manager. First of all, MEM will now support management of virtual endpoints, so you can manage your Windows virtual desktops or your third-party VDI solutions right alongside your physical PCs. And we're going to be previewing this capability at the end of the year. WVD is also seeing hockey stick growth, so this is incredibly important for our customers. Customers also are telling us that they want to use MEM to manage all their endpoints. And of course, we have a first-class management experience in macOS. We're bringing a bunch of new capabilities there as well, including the ability to deploy scripts to devices, new enrollment experiences that utilize single sign-on improvements across applications, and new managed app lifecycle features. And then finally, I'm excited to announce support for Shared iPad for Business that will let customers deploy shared iPads to their users and have them log in with their Azure AD work accounts in separate partitions on the device, including having each user have a separate device passcode. But of all the cool stuff we're going to talk about, the one that I'm most excited to announce is Microsoft Tunnel. This is a capability our customers have been asking us for literally for years, and now at Ignite, we're ready to start talking about it. So Tunnel allows you to connect your on-premises applications to your remote users, both on iOS and Android. It's a full device and per app VPN with advanced capabilities like split tunneling. And of course, it's natively integrated with Microsoft 365, so you get to take advantage of capabilities like conditional access and others. And I'm thrilled to say that this is now available in preview and will be rolling out to a broad preview audience over the next couple of days. So please do come try it out. And finally, a quick word about Zero Trust. So no Zero Trust strategy can work without effective endpoint management to establish device compliance and enforce policy before granting users access to sensitive corporate resources. So we're going to be talking a lot about Zero Trust here at Ignite, so watch for this throughout our sessions. MEM is growing fast with big new capabilities across each of our major investment areas. I've talked about several of these already, but I want to call out a couple of more. First, MEM has been the dominant endpoint management solution for a while, but we're now investing heavily in new classes of shared and specialized devices. You're going to see some of that now and much more to come. Also, Microsoft 365 has this incredible richness of data and signal. And so today we're going to announce the general availability of Endpoint Analytics, which is one of the fastest growing new capabilities in MEM, even though it's only been in preview so far. We're going to continue to invest heavily here, so watch this space going forward. And finally, before I hand off to Ramya, I want to come back to cloud attachment one more time. Every enterprise is unique, so we've created several different on-ramps to MEM cloud value. However you connect, you'll benefit from a new cloud-powered set of capabilities in analytics, in user experience, security, and much more. A lot of the innovation Ramya is going to demo in a second is powered through the cloud. Fortunately, cloud attachment is as easy as just a couple of clicks, so I encourage you to give it a shot today. And now I'd like to welcome Ramya Chitrikar up to the virtual stage here to take us through a few of the incredible pieces of innovation we're delivering in MEM. Ramya, take it away.
Today, I'm going to show you some exciting new capabilities within Microsoft Endpoint Manager. As Steve mentioned, with the pandemic, there's been a massive shift towards remote work and a strong indication of this trend continuing even for the longer term. Ensuring business continuity and resilience is going to be key for IT. Now let me show you how Endpoint Manager is enabling IT to realize these goals. Microsoft Productivity Score and Endpoint Analytics enable IT pros to understand how organizations are working, how technology is supporting them, and how truly productive their end users are. Analytics really makes IT Pro the hero. I'm very pleased to announce, as Steve mentioned, the general availability of Endpoint Analytics at Ignite. Microsoft Productivity Score is also going to be generally available in the month of October. Endpoint Analytics provides a key core cloud value. Let me show you some cool new capabilities we're adding in this area. Now, a quick note that you can immediately unlock this capability for your on-premise config manager devices by simply attaching to the cloud with a few simple steps, as Steve alluded to. What I have here is the productivity score within the Microsoft Admin Center. Productivity score comprises of employee experience and technology experience. Endpoint Analytics is a component of technology experience which helps you ensure that technology is enabling productivity by optimizing device experiences and performance. Let's dig into Endpoint Analytics. Last year, we announced some cool new capabilities such as startup performance and recommended software. We've also added proactive remediations, which are detection and remediation scripts that address common support issues proactively, cutting down help desk volume and making end users productive faster. Today, I want to show you a sneak peek of some more new features. First is application health. Like others, App Health Score follows the 0 to 100 paradigm. We give you data on how you're doing compared to your technology peers with the commercial median. We also show you top applications that are impacting your productivity over the last 14 days. Now, each app has a score associated with it. Let's take a deeper look. Now, this App Health Score is not a mere calculation on the number of crashes. It overlays crash data along with the duration of usage of each app and the number of devices that are using this app. This lets you focus on the top applications that are impacting productivity. We also provide insights and corrective actions. Now, let's pick an app from this list. You will notice there's an older version of this application that certainly crashes a lot, but it is also used on a large number of devices within your organization. There is a newer version of this app which is clearly more stable. However, it is used only on a small fraction of devices within your organization. Now, this gives you a clear indication that you need to upgrade the version of this application. Now, as our model improves over time, we'll be able to be more prescriptive about corrective measures. Another new functionality we are adding to Endpoint Analytics is restart frequency metrics. We capture restart data across your organization, including reasons for restarts such as blue screens, manual shutdowns, boot-related incidents, errors, etc. Now, this allows you to analyze how often restarts occur in your organization and why they happen. We also show you details per device. Let's pick a specific device which has had 10 restarts. We show you boot history for the device along with stop codes, which are super helpful in case of troubleshooting in a help desk scenario. Conditional access enables zero trust access control, wherein identity is the perimeter and all endpoints are treated equally regardless of the network to which they attach. Now, customers are telling us that they have legacy applications that are simply not ready for modern authentication and conditional access. To meet you where you are, we are very pleased to announce our mobile access gateway, Microsoft Tunnel. Now, Tunnel is a VPN gateway to allow your iOS and Android users to access on-premise apps and resources using modern authentication, single sign-on, and conditional access. The configuration and deployment of the tunnel can be done entirely by the IT admin, which has been a key customer ask. So I'm very excited to show you how that works. Now, as you know, Microsoft Edge provides an amazing managed browser experience for users on mobile platforms. Let me walk you through a scenario of configuring the tunnel VPN profile for Android devices such that end users are able to access intranet sites from the internet only via Microsoft Edge. There are three main steps to enable this scenario. First is to configure the Microsoft Tunnel Gateway. Second is to deploy a VPN profile for Tunnel. And third is to deploy the Edge and Tunnel apps to these devices. I will also show you what the end user experience looks like on an Android device when they try to access intranet sites with Microsoft Edge. Now, in the admin console, under Tenant Administration, there is a new node called Microsoft Tunnel Gateway. I have pre-installed and configured my sites and servers. If I hadn't done that, the Overview tab here would give you a sequence of steps to follow to be able to set up and configure them. A site is a logical grouping of servers. Think of it as a load balancer sitting in front of a bunch of servers, and it also acts as a single point of connection for end clients. Associated with each site is a server configuration, which I have already configured using this tab. This allows you to configure things like the IP address ranges, the DNS suffixes, the split tunneling rules for the servers. Once you associate that with a site, they apply to all the servers sitting behind that site. The next step is to deploy the VPN tunnel profile to Android devices. Under Android and configuration profiles, I'm going to create a new profile. Select the platform type as Android Enterprise. Profile type is VPN. In my case, it's a work profile device. Give it a name. Select connection type as Microsoft Tunnel. The base VPN, give it a friendly name. Let's say also VPN. Give it the FQDN of the VPN. In case of Android, we allow you to browse for the list of apps from within this experience. I'm going to select Microsoft Edge. This is where the per app VPN would apply. And since I don't want users to manually connect to the VPN by launching the Tunnel app, I'll enable always on VPN for this profile. If I had any proxy settings, I could also do them here. Next step is to deploy them. I will select all users. And that's about it. Switching gears to the end user side, what I have here is my Android phone. It's a personal phone, so I've used work profile within Android Enterprise to enroll to my organization. As you can see, the Tunnel and the Edge apps have been installed in my work profile. Next, since we pushed the VPN profile, you'll see that when the profile made it to the device, it was automatically connected to the Microsoft Tunnel VPN. Next, let me launch the Tunnel app. You don't need to do this step, but I want to show you the details that the app provides. It shows the name of the connection. It shows the address to which it is connected to. It shows the fact that it was enabled for always on. It also shows the list of apps that are configured to use Tunnel for accessing on-premise resources via the gateway. In this case, that is Microsoft Edge. Now let me launch Edge. I'll try to access an intranet site. And you will see how, without having to connect to a VPN, I was brought straight to the internal site. Now, this shows the seamless experience for users on Microsoft Edge and Microsoft Tunnel. To enable remote work scenarios, Microsoft Endpoint Manager integrates with VDI and provides security and management solutions at scale. This year, we have partnered with the Windows Virtual Desktop team to deliver support for Windows 10 Enterprise and Windows 10 Enterprise Multi-Session. In the future, we're planning to add support for third-party VDI solutions as well. Now, Windows Virtual Desktop allows employees to connect to corporate resources from within their personal device. Now, that way, they can stay productive during the pandemic and be able to work from anywhere post-pandemic. With Endpoint Manager, IT admins can make sure that the sessions that end users are accessing are secured with the same compliance policy and conditional access that they use for physical devices. This allows them to reuse their existing configurations with virtual machines. What I have here is my Endpoint Manager console, and as you can see in my all devices list, I can see all my virtual machines as well as physical devices managed in the same way. As a unified endpoint management solution, Microsoft Endpoint Manager covers a wide territory including management of PCs, virtual machines, applications, mobile phones and tablets that are used by knowledge workers, shared devices that are used by frontline workers such as retail point of sale devices, as well as special purpose devices such as the HoloLens. Now, let me walk you through a scenario for a frontline shared device enabled via shared iPad for business. One of the critical challenges that IT at healthcare providers face is to mobilize their doctors and nurses quickly so that they have access to their apps and data and doing so securely. Now, with Shared iPad for Business, IT can provisioning shared iPads very quickly and ensure that each user has a personalized experience, making sure that their user data is still preserved on distinct user partitions on the device. Let me walk you through what that looks like integrating with Endpoint Manager. Now, let's say I'm the IT admin for a healthcare provider and I have provisioned shared iPads for use at a nurse's station. Let's see what the experience looks like as nurses use this device. Lee is a nurse who's signing into this iPad for the very first time. He enters his org credentials, and this leads him to the very familiar Azure Active Directory authentication experience. He enters his password, and once he is authenticated, he can customize his personal language and regional settings just as if it were a new iPad. The next step for him would be to set up a personal complex passcode which he could use to sign in the next time he logs into this device. As you can see, the device is ready for his use, and apps targeted to him by the IT admin, Outlook, Teams, OneDrive are ready for use by Lee. At the end of the shift, by the way, all he does is simply lock the device and leave it at the nurse's station for the next nurse to use. At the beginning of the next shift, Ava, the next nurse, picks up the same shared iPad. Now, she has already signed into this device before. She sees her name on the home screen. She simply selects her name and she is only prompted to enter her personal passcode. She goes on and enters it, and you can see she can pick up exactly where she left off previously on an Excel document she was working on. Let me also show you that she had a different set of apps targeted to her than Lee did with Word and Excel, which Lee did not have. You can see how the same shared device was used between two nurses seamlessly to make them productive. Next, I would like to talk more about our support on the Apple platform. Now, before I do that, I want to take a moment and say how proud I am about our support to customers in times of the pandemic. We had a very large school district which deployed over 300,000 iPads seamlessly over a period of 40 days. It's a testimony to our commitment to scalability. Now, with strong partnership with Apple, Endpoint Manager continues to have day zero support for functionality that is critical to our customers. I showed you one with shared iPad for business. Now, let me show you one more, which is managed app support on macOS 11, and show you how that looks like on day zero. Note, both of these were just recently showcased by Apple at WWDC. Now, switching gears to macOS. If you're managing Apple devices in your organization today, you know that many of the rich app management capabilities that are available in iOS are not available on macOS. At WWDC, Apple announced significant enhancement to the app management area on macOS 11. Some of these capabilities are takeover of installed apps as managed apps, app uninstallation, and removal of managed apps upon unenrollment. We are very excited to announce that Microsoft Endpoint Manager will support these capabilities on VPP apps on day zero. Let me show you what you can expect on day zero. Here's a Mac device that's under management. As you can see, it's running macOS 11. Now let me show you the set of managed tabs that were pushed to this device. Now what happens when I unenroll this device? Let me go ahead and remove this device from management. You will notice in a matter of seconds, all the managed tabs are automatically uninstalled from this device, which saves IT the overhead of having to clean up after deprovisioning Macs. On the same lines, you can expect to see more app management capabilities in the future for things such as non-store applications, as well as managed app configurations on macOS. Moving on to mobility management on the Android platform, Microsoft and Google continue to work closely together to provide the best Android enterprise management solutions. Last year, we announced Android Enterprise fully managed devices. Now, this year, we are very pleased to announce the public preview of Android Enterprise corporate-owned devices with a work profile. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Microsoft Endpoint Manager now provides full support for the Android Enterprise Management Solution set. Similar to our existing Android Enterprise Management Solutions, IT admins can start the corporate-owned devices with a work profile enrollment process from within the Android enrollment section of the console. Now let's have a look at what the end user's onboarding process looks like. This new management mode offers separation between corporate and personal data and applications similar to personally owned work profile devices, while giving IT admins more device-level control. The decision point for enrollment is during the initial out-of-box experience. After a few device setup screens, the end user is shown these new screens, educating them about the functionality of the work profile and the personal profile on this device. The user is then prompted to enter their corporate credentials. After this point, they can set up a PIN if the admin requires it, install work applications, and register the device with Intune. Finally, the users can add their personal Google account to configure their personal profile. Now, after enrollment, users will have their app separated into their work profile and into their personal profiles. With this management offering, end users are guaranteed that IT admins have no visibility into the data and applications in their personal profile. Now, for the very last demo of this session, I couldn't resist but show you my cool new Surface Duo. Surface Duo comes out of the box with Outlook, Teams, and other Microsoft productivity apps that you love. Now, if your organization requires device management, enrollment offers a smooth, seamless onboarding experience with our pre-installed company portal. Now, let me walk you through a scenario of configuring Outlook on a personal device protected via app protection policies. Now, here is the cool new Surface Duo. It is a personal phone. So let's walk through the experience of setting up the pre-installed Outlook configured with app protection policies from Intune. I launch Outlook, enter my corporate credentials, I'm prompted to register my device, and this is because the IT admin has app protection conditional access enabled. I go through the setup screens for Outlook. I set up the application PIN based on the app protection policy from IT. And within moments, I have access to my inbox in this very cool dual screen format. Now let me hand it back to you, Steve, to close us off.
Thanks, Ramya. That was amazing. And remember, this is only part one. We have tons more innovation to demo in part two. So quickly recapping some of the key strengths that MEM brings to your enterprise. Use MEM to deploy zero trust. It all starts with management and compliance. Use zero-touch provisioning to provide the best possible new device experience to your users. Get new insights from Endpoint Analytics. This is an area where we just keep growing and growing. Unified management is an industry-unique capability that gives you multiple options to getting cloud value for your Windows 10 PCs. And finally, Microsoft's unmatched expertise is available to ensure your deployment is a success. Wherever you are in your cloud management journey, whether you're just beginning or you started with co-management or you're completely on the cloud, use Microsoft Endpoint Manager. It truly is your hub to unify security, apps, access, compliance, and end user experience across your entire technology estate. And because of Microsoft 365's signal and intelligence, MEM delivers analytics and data to keep you ahead of change so that you can keep costs down and keep your organization running smoothly, whatever the future brings. So thank you for attending our talk. I want to leave you with just a couple of next steps here before we close. First, go check out part 2 of this talk. It's got tons more great demos. Secondly, if you haven't already, go check out Brad's keynote for more great strategy and demos about the entire enterprise technology set here. Number 3, Cloud Attach is easy. If you haven't already, go Tenant Attach your config manager sites. It's super fast and basically risk-free, and it lights up tons of new capabilities. And finally, go check out Endpoint Analytics. It's a powerful way to gain insight into your endpoints, and it's a place that we're going to keep investing in this year and beyond. We've talked about a ton of topics today, and really that's just the beginning. You'll find these and more at our video hub at aka.ms/Microsoft Ignite 2020/MEM.